Hey everyone, welcome to Tap In. This is your host, Sam.
And this is Carter.
We are two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu white belts here to talk about our journey, life, and everything in between.
We will discuss on how we see certain techniques, invite guests on to talk about the experience in sports, and some interesting stories that they may have encountered. So, Sam, what's happened recently?
Well, recently there was a white belt competition called AFG New Age, and we've both participated. And it's my very first time in a competition. How about you, Carter?
It is my second competition with AFG. So, how did we do?
Well, I am very gladly to say I got a silver and a bronze. How about you?
Hey, same. I got a silver and a bronze as well.
Amazing. It is a double silver, double bronze moment. Yay!
Let's pull us back to reality here. Did you win any of your weight bracket competitions?
Well, fun fact being, in my weight bracket, it's actually under 69 kg, and there are only 2 of us, and I got silver. It was supposed to be best of 3, and let me tell you, that girl smashed the shit out of me, and oh well, I wasn't even gonna complain because she was really good and I was genuinely impressed. And I actually got a participational medal in open weight because there were only 4 people and I got bronze. So what do you think, Carter? Okay, that's enough about me. How about you? How'd you do?
You know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm the exact same. I was in the ultra heavyweight for 100.5 kg plus. There are only 2 people and I got silver medal as well. I completely got squashed for 2 rounds in a row. I had spent around 3 minutes in something called an arm triangle, and it was great. Open weight, I managed to get 1 win, which was nice.
Amazing.
And I tied it by sort of lucking my way out.
I think it was very difficult because I was basically stuck in close guard and half guard for literally all 3 of my matches. I did manage to get up, but I was still stuck, and from close guard, no matter what I do, I kept getting swept. And let me tell you, joining my very first competition, I only thought about submission and escapes. I never even think about the points. And do you know how bad I did?
How many points did you lose by?
21-0 in almost all my matches.
It's okay. I'm close with you. I'm around 12-16.
Amazing. At least you got fucking points. I got 0 for fuck's sake.
12-16-0.
Oh, okay.
I need you to squash that before it starts at 0 points.
Honestly, same.
What was like your biggest takeaway from it? Because I know for me, it's like sort of understanding how different people compete, the competition phase, and sort of trying to link together different techniques that you've learned in class. Especially for beginners, I feel like we learn a lot of different techniques throughout classes, right? A class here, a class there, talking about a kimura here, or like an ultimate sweep. But for us, it's, well, at least for me anyways, it was very hard to chain together all of it, from the stand up to like pulling guard or having a takedown and then having a sweep, holding the position, to having the submission itself. What about you, Sam? How do you feel?
Honestly, I think overall the experience was really cool, and it was nothing like I've ever experienced, and I'll 100% do it again, and I'm already looking forward to my next competition. But I totally agree with you, is that we learn so many different techniques in each class, and we could drill it 10 times, 15 times over and over again after each class or in our open mat time. But when it really comes to a competition, it's really difficult to chain it all up together, especially when we were rolling and competing with people outside of our gym. Well, at least I did. I competed with 2 people outside of the gym, and it's very different to see how their techniques are like, and their skill sets are very different from mine. And I've only been into jiu-jitsu training for around 9 months officially, as there are on and off times. So for me, it was pretty difficult, but it was an amazing challenge, and I loved every single bit of it. Even the parts where I was getting smashed and kept getting swept and stayed in close guard and half guard.
I think for me, I went into it with like high expectations because my first comp, I got 2 bronzes, but I also got smashed both ways through, even in absolute. I won once or twice, I believe. But for this time, I went in with expectations, thinking that I've trained a bit more. It's been 5 months or so since I've done my first comp, so I was like, I went in feeling a bit more confident, a bit more knowledge to train to get moves, but somehow it doesn't really correlate. And the biggest problem for me that I found out was like my gas tank. It was very hard to sort of keep up with all the movements and keep in mind what you're supposed to do. For me, it was sort of getting into an unfavorable position and remembering 1 or 2 escapes that worked well for me. And luckily enough, my escapes had pretty high percentage in terms of executing it on the mats. However, as like my stamina got lower and lower, the percentage became lower and lower as well. So that was my biggest takeaway from it. That perhaps at white belt, it wasn't quite as essential to really know like all the techniques and have the proper angle, because that's not what's expected of us. But instead, I feel like what's important for us is to sort of have a gas tank, has a really good gas tank, so at least you're not trying to win on like outpacing the person, but at least not losing whatever gas tank you have and then just lying on the floor and having people sit on you. Because you feel like that's exactly what happened to me both times. I mean, that's my biggest takeaway, but I don't know. I heard a lot of people say like pre-match nerves. Did you get any pre-match nerves, Sam?
Pre-match nerves. That's a good question. I think for me, I came in to the competition. Obviously, who doesn't want to win, right? But I knew that I had a lot less mat time and experience than most people. So I just wanted to survive, to be honest, or at least not get submitted. But for me, I usually always end up in armbar, and luckily I did not end up in armbar in all 3 matches, but I did get fucking choked, and I couldn't fucking lift my head for 3 days after that, which really sucked. But I totally agree with you with the gas tank part as well, because I had 3 matches in the span of a very short time. So between each matches that I had, there was another match. So that's 5 minutes interval. And I had to go on again, and I was really gassed up by the last one. And I was in the bottom, and the girl was on top of me in mount. And let's be honest, I could have flipped her over. I could have reversed it. But I was so out of breath. I was at a point where I was close to hyperventilating, and I had to get my breathing together. Like, I had to really stop and just get my breathing in. Then I reversed it. But it really is true, because people always say the first 2 minutes, everybody's a hero. And then the rest, it really depends on your stamina. And I really had none, because I really don't do cardio. And it's very true, because if you can burn them out, even though you may not have as much technique as they do, but if you could burn them out, then you at least have a little chance of winning and getting the upper hand, right? What about you? What do you think?
I mean, for me, it was more of the mentality of just trying to win and trying not to give up. Because for me, like, especially with my expectations, I really wanted to win. That's why I sort of accepted, like, even when I was so tired and being stuck in a submission, I sort of accepted the fact that I could pass out. And for me, I felt that was okay, because I thought maybe during the process I could work an escape. I thought that maybe he could burn his arms out and I have more of a chance next round. Obviously, those 2 things did not happen, as I got stuck in the same submission twice. But I guess a little proud note is that I didn't tap out. And the biggest takeaway is it's more of techniques snap into your mind no matter like how many times you've been taught into it. I feel like especially with my own finish, it's like you just see someone see the opportunity, and it's up to you whether or not you take it or not. It sounds really cheesy. It's like, oh, seeing the opportunity, seize the moment. But for me, it was just luck of the draw that the opponent got over hasty, overcommitted his arm, and I saw it, grabbed it, and just rolled along with him until his shoulders started to get really uncomfortable in the Kimura. But in terms of overall matches, I feel like next time I should be able to do better. Hopefully I can get a gold. And I do believe there is a comp in the end of year. How do you feel about competing again?
Well, one word: excited. I definitely look forward to another competition. Obviously, if, as you said, if it's true that there's a comp in the end of the year, then that's still quite a long way ahead, and not enough time. There's never enough time in jiu-jitsu, but there's more time for me to absorb more new techniques and informations and work on fine-tuning my details, because I miss out on a lot of things, especially pressure points, and I rush my moves a lot. It's really frustrating, because I remember sitting on this girl and I rushed to take my leg out of a half guard, and I ended up moving away and literally standing up, which I completely missed out on. I could have gotten him out, get 4 points, and work on some submissions or whatsoever, but nope, because I rushed it. And sometimes I think it's really important to note our own speed and our own pressure. When there's not enough pressure being applied, then people could easily flip you, get away from you, and that definitely sucks. So I think there's definitely way too much things I could work on, and hopefully by the time of the next match I could do better and I could practice more. So yeah, I definitely look forward, and I am excited for the next competition.
I would just like to take this chance to thank all the coaches here that helped me along in my journey, all the refs and everyone on the site just cheering us on. And I feel like you pretty much had the same side of support, don't you? With everyone that was in our own gym there, supporting you, cheering you on, giving you advice. Sometimes it could be so chaotic, but honestly, if you hear like a sliver of a sentence, it just helps knowing that someone's there for you and you can try and hone in on some little bit of advice. And I feel like for a white belt, that matters a lot. Just having the confidence of having someone in your corner. So that's why I would take this chance to say thank you to them as well.
Absolutely, and I'd like to say the same to everyone who's here and the coaches that have been helping us and teach us and to guide us whenever we ask. I completely agree with you. You know, on game day, it was overwhelming for sure. But let me assure you, both sides of the gym were filled with our home gym people and members, and everybody was cheering us on. No matter if we failed a submission or we got swept, everybody was shouting, screaming, supporting us, and telling us to breathe, and all these things. It just makes it feel better, you know, it's less overwhelming, and you just know that there's people who are there to support you no matter how you do. And to me, that made me a winner. That made me a winner out of everything, and I'm forever grateful for it.
All right, and that is it from us.
Thank you for tapping in today, and stay tuned on our next episode on Spotify and YouTube. And make sure to follow us on Instagram at TapInPodcast 2024. Remember, it is your choice to tap or not to tap.